But as far as week 12, there's really not a lot of other stories. You know what I'm saying? The Texans, they need to do better. They're slipping right now. But they still got the division so far under control, unless the Colts just pull something out of their ass right now. And the Eagles are good, we said. The Bills were off, so there's not to talk about the Chiefs barely winning, but that's what the Chiefs do. They're still 10-1, so what is there really to talk about other than, are you concerned that the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to continue, their success here winning these close games when it matters the most? I don't know about you all. Most people are not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes in January, regardless of how close these games are. But it
Don't
just
care nothing about it.
it kind of makes you wonder, though, can they continue this? At some point, you just feel like they're going to hit a brick wall when the playoffs get here. They are 10-1, though. It is what it is. The Miami Dolphins, though, as we shift to the AFC here, and I don't really see much more with the NFL after this, but they don't look now. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They are just a game under 500 now at 5-6, and the rest of the schedule looks favorable for them. Could the Dolphins get that last wild card spot? I know Nick at one point thought the Bengals were going to be their team to make a run and do it, but I don't see it. The Dolphins, on the other hand, they don't have to play the Steelers again and the Ravens again and all that. They're not in the AFC North. So let's start with the AFC guy here, Terrence. Are you impressed with what the Dolphins are doing right now? Because, Tua's back. They're starting to get on a roll here. And surprisingly, the defense is playing good football. They were the weak link. They've been playing good football here. Calais Campbell, an old Calais Campbell, no mean any disrespect. He seems to be rejuvenated. Everything's starting to look good right now, how they're getting pressure and all of that. Again, this is the guy that I wished we had kept in San Francisco, Mike McDaniel. I would love to have kept him, and he should have been our head coach. I said that a few years ago. Shanahan should have went to Miami, and we should have kept Mike McDaniel. But Terrence, tell me about the Dolphins. Are they going to make a run here?
Well, if they do, they have to legitimately make a run. Like they might have to run the table. And I say that because of how good the Chiefs are and how surprisingly good Pittsburgh has been, because now you look at a situation where the Chargers and the Ravens are more than likely going to take up those other wild card spots. So now you got one spot. Can they get that spot? Absolutely. But like I said, they might have to absolutely run the table. They are very capable, though. They are very, very capable. And listen, that offense is fun to watch. It's fun to watch on TV. It will be fun. It will be fun to watch a second seed Pittsburgh have to go up against a 8 seed Miami. Or is it 9 seed? However that works. That last
Be a
wild card
7.
spot.
7.
Yeah, whatever spot that is. Have to watch them go up against Miami and just hey, you never know. Those guys can get big plays. Out of nowhere. And we know how I feel about Miami. They cost me a good bit of money the year they scored 28 in the fourth quarter against my Ravens. I don't want to think about the shit. But no, they can. They just legitimately might have to run the table. And we know any given Sunday we saw crazy upsets today, wacky games. It was crazy upsets last week. Anything can happen. So I wouldn't put money on it, but I do think it's possible for sure.
They definitely have a schedule that grants them the ability to potentially do that. Of course, they got to visit Green Bay on this coming Thursday on Thanksgiving. After that, they've got the Jets coming to town. They've got to visit Houston. They've got the 49ers coming to town. They got to visit Cleveland, and then they got to visit the Jets again. All of those games are very winnable for the Dolphins, provided that they remain healthy, particularly at the quarterback position. Very winnable games for them to be able to eventually clinch that wild card spot. As it is now, they sit at the 8 at 5-6. Denver's 7-5 at the 7, and then Baltimore and the Chargers at 7-4 and 7-3 make up your wild card picture as it is now. So like I said, a string of winnable games for Miami to make up some ground there on most likely on Denver. I would bet on the Chargers and Baltimore kind of maintaining their position. The Chargers may even be able to press. Well, I'm sorry, they wouldn't be able to press really for the division because I don't see Kansas City really losing very much. Baltimore certainly can still press for their division, so they may end up swapping with Pittsburgh, depending on how that ends up shaking out. And Houston should still certainly walk away with theirs. So Miami's the only real shot I think is for that 7 seed. Just depending on if they're able to make up that ground on Denver, and they've got a schedule that allows them that opportunity for sure.
Yeah, I think they can run the table too, Nick. I really do. I got them winning Thursday, Thanksgiving, in Green Bay. I know that's probably not a favorable game for most people after seeing what Green Bay just did to my Niners today, but my Niners they were not at full strength, and they're not even really the 49ers this year. So I would take that win with a grain of salt. I think the Dolphins are, a version of what the Niners used to be, and they're kind of getting things back going. So I see them, even though, and this will be very good for Tua because they don't win a lot of games in the cold. I'm pretty sure on Thanksgiving this game in Green Bay will be cold, just like it was cold today. So this will be a very good, impressive victory for the Dolphins if they can win a game when the temperature is below 40 degrees. I'm sure it will be below 40 in Lambeau Field on Thanksgiving night, 7:20 8:20 p.m. Eastern for that game. That's going to be the game of the day. It looks like it probably with the Dolphins and the Packers.
I may not watch those other two. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, I know the Cowboys and Giants. I'm not watching it.
I'm not. Nah. Bears and Lions maybe, but
that's watchable. That's watchable though to see the progression of Caleb Williams, and we know the Lions are the Lions, but it's still a treat to watch the Detroit Lions. I mean, the way Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, the way Ben Johnson not underutilizes them, Kyle Shanahan. He uses them and he splits their carries. It's just wonderful. It's a thing of art to see them and Amari St. Brown and LaPorta and Jared Goff with his 80% completion percentage ass. It's just good to see. So I'll check the first one out. I'll be eating and getting full and taking a nap during the second one. And then I'll do it again and get ready to watch the last one. That's what I say for the Dolphins and Packers as far as the Thanksgiving lineup goes. I see them beating the Packers, which would definitely help on the parlay. I see them beating the Jets. They can beat the Texans. They can stump us at home. I would worry about that game week 17 in Cleveland. That could be a trap. But other than that, they close out week 18 against the Jets again. Aaron Rodgers is not going to play anymore probably this year. We probably won't see him again. There was a report earlier today that suggests, and this is BS, Aaron Rodgers probably leaked this himself, but it says, I got this on my Apple News Sports earlier today. Aaron Rodgers has reportedly been resisting medical scans out of fear that the Jets would sideline him. He's just ready for them to sideline him. And that's what's going to happen. They're coming off a bye week. Their season is done. This is more reason why I think the Dolphins are going to go on a roll here. They've got 2 easy wins against the Jets coming up, along with the Niners and the Texans who are slipping here. The Dolphins could very well win out and finish 11-6, at worst 10-7. Realistically, maybe 9-8, and we'll see how that looks at 9-8. But the Dolphins could run the table here. I really do think they can. But that's pretty much it.